What's up, upstanders? Dr. O here. And look, I like many people, had stopped watching Morning Joe. I used to be a fan of the show. Again, I don't have a problem talking to people who have different perspectives and backgrounds. And one of the things I really appreciated from the show was just all of the history lessons I would get about things, eras I didn't know about, recommendations for books and documentaries and all of that other type of stuff. It was one of the reasons I would appreciate the show. I would go to listen to Joe Madison, and then I would go catch the reruns of Morning Joe. And obviously, since the election and the interview and the like, there's been a difference in how Joe and Mika are communicating their messages, and it's become problematic. And I don't find the show really suits what I need right now. I can still talk to people who disagree, but I feel like there's just a lot of parroting and apologizing for Trump already, and also still berating Democrats. But I tuned in today because I specifically wanted to see what Joe had to say about the pardoning of the insurrectionists. I just needed to see it. If he was going to support it, if he was going to be down for it, he was going to say it was terrible. I just needed to see and hear it. And, I was not surprised at all. Well, I was disappointed in what I heard, but I was not surprised because really at the end of the day, all the show has become is a we Americans or half of America or almost half of America, whatever, voted for this. This is what Americans said they wanted. This is a 50-50 country. We're divided. Yo, like, we know that already. Like, we were there on November 5th. Like, we saw what happened. We, acknowledged it, the win. Like, we got that. Like, it's in the past. We tune into your shows for opinions. Yeah, like Peter Drucker on, say, this is what Americans voted for. Like, yo, can we get something? What do you think? And then on top of that, y'all still going at Biden. Biden's gone. Like, he's not there anymore, right? But, Mika, you're saying, oh, yes, Trump said he was going to do this, and Biden said he was not going to do this. And that's a problem. Okay, really? And then you talk about, and the media, people should stop wasting their time, or they should really be careful on how they challenge Republicans on their thoughts over pardons. Do you really want to get in the back and forth and debate this? Yes, we do. We want to see people called out for their hypocrisy. And you literally played Mike Johnson's hypocritical comments on Biden versus Trump's pardons, and then just did nothing with it. And so I was expecting Joe Scarborough, the conservative that he is, the back the blue person that he is, to sit there and actually say that it was wrong for Trump to pardon insurrectionists. But on the show, Joe and Mika never called it an insurrection. So what was I really thinking? They talk about the riot. They talk about the attack. I appreciate the fact that they have heroes on like Michael Fanone and Harry Gunn and all of those Harry Dunn, sorry, and those people on there. I appreciate that. Sometimes they do a good job of giving other people a voice, but the things you won't say yourselves, like the silence is so loud. And I think that that's really problematic. Like, why can't you call something an insurrection on the show anymore? Why can't we speak to that, right? Why can't we look at how, and I appreciate Mara Gay from the New York Times, who was on the show, who will say these things. And then you all, before I tuned out, you turned into the conversation about Elon Musk. Well, not really, but it was Mara Gay who actually said that what Elon Musk did was a Nazi salute. Y'all wouldn't say that. And it's very interesting to see how Joe has had all of this, like all the smoke for college students protesting in support of Palestine, like gave them no middle ground. Like everybody who protested in support of Palestine was at what he called them pro-Hamas. He called them idiots. He called them all people of worthy of being arrested, even though many were protesting peacefully in their camps, right? And there were many Jewish professors and scholars and activists who were supporting this. But there was no nuance there. The fact of the matter is, every student who was in those spaces was not calling, not supporting Hamas, and there were people there who did that and got called out. And we know that there were outside agitators coming in, but it's like the people who don't have the biggest power to speak up for themselves, you go at them real hard. Same thing y'all did with Jordan Neely, which was the main reason I stopped watching, because y'all referring to him as this guy, and basically talking about Penny as if, he was some type of hero, basically because, there is a problem with crime on the train. And that was when I started to really tune out, and it had nothing to do with the political stuff. But the way that y'all cannot sit there and say that Trump was wrong to pardon specifically the violent attackers of police, y'all couldn't say that. That said a lot in terms of where you all are right now. And that's why a lot of people are upset who used to have a lot of respect for the show. And then I go to the repeats and I turn on Nicole Wallace and Deadline White House, and within like the first 30 seconds of her show, she's calling it insurrection and insurrection. And she's talking about insurrectionists, as she always has. Which is why this is, Deadline White House has become one of the favorite shows to watch for me in terms of seeing pushback from the hosts, in terms of bringing people on who are not just going to say this is what we voted for, have some type of nuanced critique of stuff, have some real condemnation for things that are problematic and things that are going to hurt the government. And like those types of things, Donnie Deutsch just comes in there, on Morning Joe, from a marketing standpoint, like we get it. Can you give us a little bit more? Y'all are so experienced, so educated, so knowledgeable on stuff. We want more than just a scribed report of who voted for things. Can y'all do better? Like, we need better. But I don't know. I'm not going with everything that other people are saying. Y'all are scared and all the other type of stuff. I just know that there's a marked difference between how y'all talked about Biden versus how you talked about Trump. You talking about, Biden lied and all this other type of stuff. Can you talk about the fact that, pardons usually come at the end of somebody's presidency and not the beginning? Can we talk about the fact that the split screen of Biden pardoning the people who protected the Capitol and Trump pardoning the people who attacked the Capitol? Like, can we talk about that split screen? Just because Trump didn't directly promise to do this, which is why J.D. Vance and Pam Bondi were saying the violent ones should not be pardoned, because Trump never said he was actually going to do that, case by case basis. Remember, that's what was said. Can you nuance that a little bit? And so, I just wasn't sure. I just wanted to see what was going to be said. That's what was said, and it's not cool. It's not cool at all. And again, we are looking for nuanced perspectives, opinions, diversity of opinions, and the like. But if you're just going to be a parrot for, well, Trump said he's going to do this, and then he said something like, oh, don't focus on what Trump, the excesses, the demonstrations, or whatever. Focus on what he actually does. Well, the demonstrations and the excesses are part of what he does. If he says he's going to outlaw certain things or ban certain things, that has an immediate effect in that community on day one when he says it. Because you got the Proud Boys and all of those other guys ready to enact things. You got people in particular positions ready to fire folks. So, Dr. Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. And I really thought that, at least particularly on this particular issue of pardoning violent attackers of the cops, that y'all were going to be a little stronger in your opinions. But I was wrong, and then y'all went into the Elon Musk thing, wouldn't call it a Nazi salute, but Margay did, which I appreciate. And like I said, if you did voted half of the smoke that you put towards those college students, towards what Elon Musk did, Nazi salute at the inauguration, then maybe some of us would have been like, all right, we can get a little bit more respect here. But y'all didn't do that. And a lot of us are just wondering why, because we're disappointed. Peace.